Coach, what are some aspects of your game last weekend that you want to improve on this weekend against the Badgers?
Yeah, there's always pieces. Like I said to you other weeks, there's always pieces that you want to improve as a staff and as a team. And there's a lot of pieces to our game that are coming together, and they're showing up. And it's just a matter of putting more pieces to it and making the ones that we have more consistent. So a couple of the ones that we're focusing on, obviously this week is our creating low offense against Wisconsin, but then also our D zone. Trying to minimize their offensive zone time and creating those turnovers so that we can go the other way. But, those are obviously two things that you can focus on every week, but those would be critical going this weekend against Wisconsin.
Yeah, I guess I'll stick on that part. What do you think matches up well for your team going into this series? I know quite the giant coming in, but what matches up well?
Yeah, we love the Giants coming into play. That's why we're in this league. So we'll welcome it any week. So obviously they're an extremely talented team. They're number one in the country for a reason. So we expect for them, a team that is very high in puck possession. They're a team that does not give up the puck very easily. They're very good puck possession. They have some really high skill forwards with some speed up front as well. So for us, what matches up well, I believe that our players have really done a good job in terms of some of our structure in the neutral zone and controlling more of that space on the ice, which is critical against Wisconsin. And our forecheck, that's going to be a piece that matches up well. We're able to create some chances against Minnesota and Bemidji, our two recent series off of our forecheck. And I believe that'll be critical again going into this weekend, and it can be a strength of ours.
Emma Gentry posted another multi-point weekend. It's clear that she can be a talented force in the WCHA, but what's it going to take to get her producing against the Badgers this weekend?
Well, first off, what's going to take for the team to produce? I think if this team starts producing, she'll start producing and individuals, and what can we be helping with the team? And for forwards, it comes down a lot to just chemistry with her line. And I think that her, Cvar, and Lind have something good going. And they're really starting to really find a groove and create some opportunities. And they're three players that think a lot alike, so sometimes they all think the same thing, which is good and bad sometimes, but it's a matter of them just learning those situations, and we think they're on track to do that. So just like any player on the ice, you need help from your line mates and the teammates. So she'll be a player that'll be able to contribute for us this weekend, we hope.
Obviously, you can rely on your top two lines, but depth scoring is going to be important against any team. Obviously, Nicole Ness got her first goal, as well as that third line all getting a point on that. How important do you think depth scoring will be coming up this weekend?
Depth scoring, depth playing, and when with Wisconsin, you have to defend by committee and score by committee. You can't rely on just one player to do it all either end of the ice. You can't rely on just your goalie. You can't rely on just a forward or a D, so it has to be by committee in all areas of the ice, so for us, those are three young players that you just mentioned. Those are some youngins, but they're showing that they can really start to figure things out, and they'll be growing pains, just like against any team. There's growing pains, and they'll have some lessons that they'll learn this weekend, and but they've shown that they can learn really quick, and they're really willing to learn and really, in the end, willing to compete, and that's the biggest thing. So yeah, it's defend by committee, score by committee.
Coach, I understand it's a different team this weekend, but specifically the freshman class in mind, now they're going to be playing their second Big Ten team inside the WCHA. How do you feel that the separation from their first series against the Gophers is going to show this weekend against the Badgers?
Every weekend's a learning opportunity, and that's what we talk about every weekend. It's like, okay, what did we learn this weekend? What did we learn this game? What did we learn in that period in terms of what's going to make us better? So I think anytime, you can, the freshmen can get that experience of playing against Big Ten opponent and even just a top team in our league, not necessarily just a Big Ten, but in our league consistently every single weekend. And so now to have Wisconsin coming to town, currently ranked number one, it's a great opportunity for them to learn again and show that what we learned in the Minnesota weekend, and then what did we learn this past weekend against Bemidji. So again, there's lessons and everything, and they're learning quite a bit this year with COVID and everything else. So, those lessons that you learn against the Gophers, 3 games, 4 days, I think will definitely pay dividends, going into Wisconsin this weekend.
Coach, I think back to Friday's game against Bemidji, that first period, just kind of the feet looked slow. The jump wasn't there. How important is a fast start? Because it kind of made your team have to battle from behind the whole game on Friday. And against a team like Wisconsin, of course, I expect you on as quick of a start as possible.
Yeah, against any team. Again, I keep saying that. I know I say that to you guys every time, but it's so true in our league. Against a team in our league, you have to come out well in that first period, there's going to be ups and downs, and you're not going to have the best start every single game during the season. But you have to be looking to put your best foot forward as much as you can, especially on a Friday leading into the series. So against a team like Wisconsin, a lot of times it's that first 5-8 minutes where you're acclimatizing to the speed, acclimatizing to a different opponent, and those times end to be the most critical, and we did that really well. I thought in our Saturday games against Bemidji, but then also looking all the way back to our Thursday game against Minnesota, and hence that led to us having a good opportunity against Minnesota on that Thursday. So start's critical, especially in those first 5 to 8 minutes, and really as you acclimatize to the speed and really start to adjust to that team. So they're a good team. We expect a high paced game, and it's going to be fun, but want to make sure we're ready to go in those first 5 minutes.
And then, Coach, kind of a different side of the story on Saturday. You got off to a great start in the first period. How do you get your team to, just play an even 60 because you had bipolar starts, but how do you get your team to be at a place where you feel like they're playing a good 60 minutes all together?
Yeah, well, playing with a lead is very different than playing come from behind, right? There's different decisions you make on the ice. There's different emotions that you're in, and us as a staff, we learn just as the players do, So us as a staff, first thing we did, okay, what can we be doing differently in those situations, whether it's Thursday against the Gophers or whether it's Saturday against Bemidji? And what are some different things that reminders we can have for the players, what's the different decisions we can be making. And the same goes for the players is, you don't want to change how you're playing, because obviously what you're doing got you in that situation. But it's the way you play when you're up. It can't, like I said, it can't change, but it has to almost be elevated. And I think that's what got away from us for 6 minutes in the second period on Saturday. I can't remember the time frame against Minnesota, but it was pretty close together. Same thing, So it's just a matter of even mentally making sure you're sharp and being able to reset every shift. So very valuable lessons, and we hope to find ourselves up against Wisconsin so that we can apply some of those.
Coach, on the back end, you always like to dress 7 back there. Of course, last weekend Hanson was out. Do you have an update on her status for this weekend?
She won't be in. So she, upper body injury, so she'll be out for some time. So we'll have 60 again.
So then, Coach, really short answer from you. Saw Adela Skrdlova go down at the end of Saturday's game. She's good to go this weekend.
She was fine. She's on the ice today in practice. Yep.
Perfect.
Goaltending situation. Do you like the 1-2 punch you have? Like, I know you've always had it for years with Alder and Palousny, but now Ahola steps into that number 2 and Emma kind of steps up into that number 1. How do you like that 1-2 punch and how it's working out?
And I like our 1-2-3 punch. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of people forget that sometimes it's a goaltender trio, and so in terms of Emma and Sani, anytime you have the individuals like that who can really take up a lot of minutes and play really well, I don't know any coach in the country that's not going to like that opportunity, but our goaltender trio, it's a very strong group in terms of they all support each other and they all want the best for each other, and they really want to help and put their best foot forward for this team, so and no matter who goes in on the weekend, we're confident in them, but yeah, having Emma and Sani and where they're at right now and playing, and obviously gives you a lot of opportunities to be able to put your best foot forward every weekend.
We did have one from Bill Prout as well in the mailbag.
Of course.
For you. This season, the Huskies are 1-5-0 when the opponent scores first, and Wisconsin is 5-0-0 when they score first. Any thoughts on dealing with this situational comparison against the Badgers?
Don't let them score first. Yeah, no, it goes back to my answer before. If I'm going to get away from the Bill Belichick answer, but it's again, like go back to that. That's one thing we've been talking about with our team is the consistency of our start of our game, and so. And how can we make sure we're putting our best foot forward in that first period, and so we're not playing from behind, and then learning how to play in front and playing from the lead. So against, I guess, like I said before in my answer, the first 5 minutes against Wisconsin is critical, and the whole game is, but those first 5 minutes in terms of being able to really establish our style of play and how we want to play, and then also be taking away some of their strengths and limiting their chances. So against any team, but especially those teams, Wisconsin, Minnesota, two of the top teams consistently in our league, you want to make sure you're having a good start. So we'll maybe ask me that again. If we have the in between periods interviews, ask me that after the first, see how that's going. So, but yeah, it's critical.
All right. Your line scored 7 goals in the past 7 games. What do you think works well for you and your teammates on your line?
Well, I think the biggest thing just on our line is we're a very energetic line, and we just like talking through stuff. So when we're just there and talking about situations, we bounce back really quick. And I think that we have some pretty heavy shots on our line. So just getting to the net and getting gritty sometimes, it works. Yeah. Making sure we have a net focus and a net presence all the time. We tend to control the play that way.
And then for you personally, 2 goals in 2 games, now's the time to be a little bit selfish. What's been working so well for you on the ice? We know that you have good line mates, but you specifically, what's been working for you?
Yeah, just like what you said with my line mates, just making sure that we're talking all the time. They're giving me a good job of letting me know where they are. And so I think just the back and forth, I'm a pretty vocal player, if you guys can't really hear me sometimes, but I think that's lots of it, is just letting them know where I am in the play, and they do a good job to get me the puck, and then going to the net, getting in the areas where pucks are going to be laying around and just banging them home.
Taylor, I feel like you've taken a pretty big step from last year to this year. What aspect of your game do you think is that reason why, if you had to just pick one reason of your game?
I'd probably have to say my confidence. Last year coming in, it was a big step, and it was a lot different. We go from being the oldest player in the league to one of the youngest. It's a lot different, and you're playing some of the players that you've always heard about. Oh, they're Team Canada girls. And I mean, it was cool, but I know that there was times where last year I just throw the puck and think, oh, I shouldn't have the puck right now. Whereas now I feel a bit more comfortable with the puck and my decision making. And I mean, there's always room for improvement there, but just keep letting that grow. And I think when I get more comfortable with my skill level and my skating, then it's just going to keep getting better and better.
And then obviously you just gave us a solid answer there. How have you helped Emma Gentry settle into being a freshman in the WCHA?
Well, yeah, she's super skilled, super good shot. She can see the ice well. So I think that just lots of that is just letting her know it's okay if you make a mistake, it's fine. She's a great player. So she just doesn't have to, don't be too hard on yourself. Obviously don't let things start sliding, but she's very good in control with her emotions. And I think that that's a big part of it. And just telling her all the time, it's okay if you miss a net, you're going to have another chance. And like this weekend, she's going to put it home. So, yeah.
Against a team like the Gophers, then you take a team like Bemidji and you get 4 points out of the weekend. Going into a team like the Gophers, you look at Wisconsin, what do you guys think you need to do as a team?
Well, we even talked in the dressing room. It's just as a team, we have to realize we're a good team this year. We aren't like past years where we've kind of been a bit more shaky. This team, we have a lot of skill, and I think that we just need to give ourselves we have to go in confident and know that we're a good team, give ourselves the respect to play the game that we should play. So I think we have to make sure that we play our type of game. We don't go to their game, because they're the number one team in the nation for a reason. So don't let them play their game, make them play our game. And I think we'll have lots of success. We are used to the big sheet, and that's something that they aren't quite as used to. So take advantage of what we can and see how it goes.
How nice has it been to play 5 straight games at the Herbert National Hockey Center? Like you mentioned, you've got the Olympic sheet, but just even the factor of being in your own home, stuff like that. How nice has it been to play 5 straight at home?
Well, it's so fun to get to play at home, especially with the facility that we have. We're so lucky. So yeah, it's a huge factor in our favor, I guess, when you go into a weekend knowing that you get to play at home. And even without the fans, you just know we're in St. Cloud, we're comfortable. We get to practice there all the time. So yeah, no, it's super nice.
Taytum, you took away 4 of 6 points from Bemidji. How do you and your team improve on the performance this weekend against Wisconsin?
We're just gonna try and keep our intensity up. They're a quick team. They make quick decisions, quick plays. So we're gonna try and stick to our game and try and match that speed and intensity going into this weekend with Wisconsin.
Being originally from Wisconsin, does this series mean more to you personally?
Yeah, it does for sure. I grew up watching the Badgers ever since I was little. So every time we have the opportunity to play against them, it's kind of, fun seeing that here I am playing against the team that I grew up watching. So I usually enjoyed it a lot.
And, this weekend, the second time this team is going to play, your St. Cloud team is going to play a Big Ten team. What's different about this team than last year to maybe compete against the Badgers?
Yeah, so that I think have been really helping us out this year. They're all really skilled players and fast players, and that's what we need to compete against a team like Wisconsin. Like I said before, they're fast, and I think we just have an overall faster team this year.
With Hanson out last weekend, it was the first weekend without it, and Steve's mentioned that she's going to be out this weekend as well. So how do you think the rest of the D-corps stepped up with that empty slot on the team on the back end?
Yeah, I think as a D-corps, we all did great at adjusting to maybe some new partners. I was playing with Addie Scribner, so I think there was a couple of adjustments that we had to make as a D-corps, but everyone just stepped up. We all played hard, played our game, and I think we're going to do the same thing this weekend.
A little bit of a rare occurrence. You're playing 5 consecutive games at home. How nice has it been to be in St. Cloud the last 3 weekends?
Oh, it's been great. It's always fun when, we can have a big chunk of time like this to just get comfy at home instead of bouncing back and forth between being on the road and being at home. So it's been really nice to be able to practice on our own ice, the whole week. So I think that's been a huge advantage for us.
Obviously, the penalty kill has been unreal this year. What contributes to that from a defensive standpoint? Obviously, we talk to Steve every week, but we haven't gotten a defender to talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, as a defenseman, it's just it's super important that you're playing in the right spot. We go over it in practice every week. We're always practicing penalty kill. So as a defenseman, it's really, it's important to be in the right spot and communicate with your D partner on where to be. And we've had a lot of success.
And Taytum, talk about the goaltending a little bit. Clearly, Sonny Ahola has made a presence in the WCHA this season, but how well do you like your goaltenders behind you?
Oh, it's awesome. We have 3 great goaltenders, and it's just amazing seeing that Sonny has stepped up this year, helping Poe out. So it's been awesome. They've had some huge saves for us. And that's what we need sometimes. We need a little break, and we need a goaltender to step up and have some big saves. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, 7 goals from your lines in the past 7 games. What do you think works well for you, Gentry, and Lynn together?
I think we all kind of have the same mindset, and it's kind of that rough hockey. Like, we all like to get into the corners, and we all like to pass the puck, which is nice. So we create opportunities for each other, which just creates a good outcome for us.
Walk me through what went through your head on Gentry's goal right off the face-off. I don't know if there's been a quicker bang play. And to be honest, it caught me off guard how fast that play happened.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of tried that a couple games. I know we tried it when we first played Bemidji and it didn't work so well, but I don't think they were expecting it. So I was just trying to get the puck. You win a draw sometimes and it's kind of slow, but it just zinged to her stick, and luckily it was in a good position. So yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the series up in Bemidji, your guys' line put 15 shots on in one game. What do you think overall for you has improved the most from last year to this year and as a team as well?
For me, definitely the speed. I find I've gotten a lot faster, so it's opened a lot of space up on the ice for me, and just more space to see my teammates and create openings, giving us chances and opportunities to get those shots. And even if the pucks don't go in, it's still, you're being dominant over them, and it's going to scare them, and soon they will go in.
And you had the first power play goal of the season for your team. How can you improve on that team-wise against the Badgers this weekend?
I think we just got to shoot. We have a lot of good shooters and a lot of good playmakers. So we just got to keep getting pucks to the net and keep making sure that we're making those passes. And I think it will be a good weekend if we can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, speaking on the power play as well, what do you think has improved the most on the power play? Because there's a lot more opportunities being gathered in than, say, even back in Bemidji, up at Bemidji.
Mm-hmm. I believe we have switched up our power plays a little bit, and just doing that, it's all right because there's different players now and they've have opportunities now to do stuff in different positions. For example, I'm in a different position, so it just opens a lot up on the ice and just creates a lot more opportunities. And yeah.
Hey, you got to my next question. You've kind of gone into an umbrella formation. You're the one up on the blue line. Do you feel comfortable there? How have you kind of formed and shaped into that role now?
Yeah, I played that role kind of last year a little bit, and personally, I love it. I love shooting the puck, and I just think it's a perfect position for me. It's kind of my groove when I'm there. I feel comfortable, and I just hope this weekend I can get some pucks on my stick and put them in the net for our team.